Tonight on the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror, it's a remake of a movie that is a ripoff of Dracula. And yet, it might be one of the best ones yet. Tonight's movie, Nosferatu.
Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror. Yes! All hope is lost, never to return. Alright everybody. Oh man. Tonight, episode number 28? Episode number 28? And we are trying to get this finished in sort of a decent amount of time. I don't know. Anyways, coming off of the last episode, which was Abigail, the surprisingly entertaining movie, and a lot of fun. Check that out. But tonight, I thought, and you might say this is kind of cheating, because this movie was released after the Halloween season last year. But, you know what? I don't give a shit, because I could do whatever I want. Plus, I think I deserve a pass. Here. Also, I want to talk about this movie, and I don't want to have to wait, 7-8 months to talk about this movie. And so I'm going to talk about this movie, and it happens to be another recent release being reviewed during the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror. How crazy is that? Like, usually it's maybe a handful of them, but man, I've done quite a few, and some of them are really good. So, and is this one going to be right up there, or is this one going to be? Yeah. Well, let's find out, shall we? So, tonight's movie is Nosferatu. Yes, not the original in the early 1900s, and not the remake in the 1970s, but the one that came out in 2024, Nosferatu. So, what is Nosferatu about? Well, it's basically it's a ripoff of Bram Stoker's Dracula. That's what it is. It's a ripoff of Dracula. I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. That's what the movie is. And if you know what happens in Bram Stoker's Dracula, you pretty much know what's going to be happening in this movie. Now, sure, there are some creative differences, especially with Nosferatu, and there is definitely some creative differences between this movie and the original. And so if you want to know, like, okay, what is Nosferatu about, and you don't really know about Dracula, which I guess is possible, but come on, people, come on. You should know the story by now, about a newly married man who's working for this real estate firm or law firm or whatever it is, goes to an Eastern European country to finalize a purchase agreement, and finds out that this person that they're going to is a vampire, and that vampire travels back home and menaces the population and has designs on that young man's wife, and you have to get a famous vampirologist to come and help them dispatch with the evil. I mean, that's the plot. That's basically the plot of Bram Stoker's Dracula, and that's basically the plot here for Nosferatu. Now, like I said, there are some creative differences, there are some nuance in the story, and I won't really talk about those because I want you all to experience them, because I think this movie is really, really good. It's really, really excellent. So let's get to those scores, shall we? Violence and gore, I am giving this a 4 out of 5. I know I just recently praised modern movies by bringing the blood and the gore in. This one is pretty bloody, but not quite at the super spastic, blood-soaked intestines, dead body parts everywhere type, but it is definitely violent and bloody, and there are at least one scene which will maybe disturb some people, but it is definitely a violent and bloody picture. 4 out of 5. Moving on to shock value, and honestly, I'm giving it a 3 out of 5. One for kind of like these sort of psychosexual things going on, but mainly because like there is a scene where it is very blunt and cruel and shows the evil and monstrosity of the main villain, Count Orloff, the played brilliantly, by the way, but just like the inhumanity, the indiscriminate, the vile behavior, pretty shocking, and just like boom, thud, like it was nothing, like it was just, it was like I'm drinking this beer and whatever, it's just a fucking can. Yeah, I know. Yeah, so nuts, balls. Anyways, 3 out of 5. Okay, moving on to plot. I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5, which is kind of interesting since it is a big ripoff. But I think what it does with the story and some of the changes were really well done. They breathed life into these characters in ways that other adaptations of the Dracula story have failed to do. I think the characters were well written. The plot was well written. The things that were going on were really well done. I do have a gripe about this movie, though, is because there is a thing that happens toward the end of the movie that gives away the end of the movie. It literally just tells you how the movie is going to end. And I found that to be annoying. They could have totally not done that scene. They could have had the scene where someone's looking through the book and just kind of says, interesting. And not really, maybe even show the page, but not have them like talk the words out and all that stuff, and just, let it be like, oh, what are you watching? Oh, no, nothing. And let it be sort of a mystery. But the fact that, they say what is in the book and what's being shown, and you're just like, oh my God, that's how it's going to end, isn't it? And it does end that way. And it's like, it's a bit disappointing in that aspect. But definitely not enough to totally tank the score. And, I'm being very generous because, like I said, not very original. But I think the take on the story is pretty original. And so, yeah, I'm gonna give that good 4 out of 5. Moving on to acting. I'm going to give this a 5 out of 5 because I think everyone's performance is ridiculously great. I mean, just like everyone in this movie brings it. And, oh man, like, it is, I think it is kind of a travesty that these performances were sort of kind of ignored by the Oscar committee. But, it is what it is. But they were just some really great performances, very enjoyable performances. The casting was great in this film. The pieces really fell in together, really great. And I'm not going to ding it any points on this, but there is something that always seems to bother me when it comes to movies that take place in a foreign country, especially when it's in Europe, because you're in Germany, right? So why are most of the people speaking in an English accent? It's not fucking England, people. It's Germany. They should have a German accent. Holy shit, is that so fucking hard to do? No, you can give them English accents. I guess that's easy, but oh man, you can't just have a German accent. I mean, I guess this could just be a pocket of Englishmen in Germany. I guess. I don't know. But it is one thing that kind of took me out of the film a bit, because it's like also when you watch like movies about Rome, like they should have an Italian accent. They should be Italiano accent. They should be singing all the Italiano. But instead they are speaking freaking Queen's English. Why? Why? The fucking Romans conquered them, not the other way around. Shit, fucking. Hey, anyways, it's a minor gripe. It's a minor gripe, but I really need it. I've been bothered by enough, obviously, that I had to bring it up. Anyways, but 5 out of 5, acting super. Anyways, moving on to Nudity, and I'm gonna give this a 2 out of 5. Yeah, there's nudity in this movie, and I'm actually surprised. I was not expecting nudity, and I wasn't expecting as much as we did get, and it wasn't a lot. It wasn't right there in for long periods of time, but it was nice, and it was that sacrifice woman, man. She was good looking. Not gonna lie, and yeah. Maybe the scenes involving the undead love maybe not as hot and sexy as you would want them to be, but I mean it's it's basically necrophilia, but so anyways, 2 out of 5. All right, moving on to enjoyment factor. I am giving this a 5 out of 5. I thoroughly enjoy it. The atmosphere in this movie, the way the shots were composed, the cinematography, just a feast for the eyes and the senses. And it's a long movie, but it didn't overstay its welcome. And you really just kind of dug deep and just like sunk yourself into this world that they created, and it was wonderful, and it was great, and very, very entertaining. Even though you know the story beats, kind of what's going to happen, is still enough difference in there, enough nuance, enough performance-wise by everyone that it creates a wonderful, entertaining, enthralling and thought-provoking movie that sticks with you afterwards, because you just the visuals and the sort of eeriness and the performances and the count. Oh my goodness, just great stuff. And so I think it definitely nails it out of the ballpark. So 5 out of 5. And my overall impression is going to be a 4.5 out of 5. It's not perfect, like I said. There's the accent thing, which I didn't ding them on the acting portion, because it's not necessarily their fault, because it's sort of the director's fault for saying, hey, let's do this in a German accent, whatever. But also, It does a bit meander in the beginning, a little bit. And also, like I said, about the giving away of the ending, that also dings it a bit. But still, very solid movie. And must watch, I say. I highly recommend it. You should go out, watch it. You can watch it in theaters, awesome. I don't know what theater might still be showing it, though, so that's one thing. But if you can, otherwise, pick it up physically. I haven't been able to procure a copy on 4K yet, so that's why I'm holding the skull here. And but I'm definitely on the lookout for a good deal. And so, anyways, watch it, buy it. Love it. It's great. It's spectacular. 4.5 out of 5 overall impression. And that averages out to a 3.9 out of 5, which is pretty damn good, man. That is pretty damn good. If you got an average that's over 3, the movie's doing some things right. And if it's starting to push 4, it's doing a lot of things right. And this movie does a lot of things right. It is, in my opinion, so far of the movies that I've seen in 2024, which I will admit have not been a very large amount, but of the movies that I did watch, this is the second best of all of them, with The Substance probably being the number one. The Substance is just great. Just great. Anyways, so there you have it. Nosferatu, Nosferatu. Tell me what you think in the comment section below. Have you seen Nosferatu? What did you think about it? Did you agree with me? Disagree with me? Comment, all that stuff. And don't forget to like, subscribe, bell, notifications, all that stuff. Donate to my Patreon that doesn't exist. Donate to my Subscribe Star that doesn't exist. Donate to, I don't even know, whatever thing. Like, just, donate money to yourself in my name, and then you'll be like, hey, look, I donated to this guy and I got immediate returns, right? I donated $5 to this guy, I got $5. Wow. Ooh, immediate returns, man. Sweet. Anyways, Excelsior. Y'all know what I mean when I say that. Leave a comment. Seriously, I want to know how far. I mean, I see the analytics, and it's usually like 40 seconds in, everyone's checked out. Because sometimes I wonder, like, what's the deal with people in these going through it? Do they think that this 12, 15-minute video is gonna have the entire fucking movie in it or something? I mean, is that what they're expecting? I mean, like, they see the thumbnail and they see sexy lady, they think there's just gonna be tits on YouTube? This isn't fucking Pornhub, people. I don't understand. It's like they're like, oh, I gotta go click on this link. Oh, it's someone reviewing it, which is exactly what is being described. Oh my god, it's a review, it's not the entire movie, and it's not full of tits. Man, what have I done? Why did I click this? Click off, whatever. I don't know. I don't understand it. I really don't, but whatever. It is what it is. People have no fucking attention spans nowadays, which kind of boggles my mind, because you would think that movies would not be 2+ fucking hours long now if people had such short attention spans, right? It's like you would think they wouldn't be able to sit in the theater, but then again, who sits in theaters anymore, right? Everyone's sitting in their whatever, they're working at home, but they're also watching like 5 television shows and a movie all at once in the background. It's like whatever. I don't. Rant over. Anyways, there we go. Anyways, thank you for watching another episode of the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror, and I will see you next time. And remember to stay scary, internet, and always remember that when traveling in a foreign country, when the locals tell you fucking shit is fucking crazy, I think you should believe them, since they've lived there all their lives and you're just a fucking traveler who just got there 2 minutes ago. So, if they're like saying, protect yourself and don't go to certain places and death and destruction waits you and tragedy and whatnot, I mean, I would think oh man, but where I live, none of that shit happens. Yeah, right. That's true. And when they go over to your country, you're going to tell them, hey, you know what? Don't stand on these things. They're tracks. And trains go through and they will fucking kill you. It would be wise for them to go, well, there's nothing like that in our country. Well, I'm going to fucking ignore that shit. Like I said, it goes both ways. So remember, just, the people who live in the area kind of know the area. I'm just saying. I'm just, just a word to the wise. Anyways. Also, make sure your boss isn't like some fucking psychopathic cultist who's worshipping like a certain undead prince in another country, that kind of thing. It's like you've heard of background checks for employees. Well, you should probably do a background check for the people you're working for too, to make sure you're just not secretly working for Cobra or something. I'm just saying. Right? Okay. Blah.